Previously on Calamity 300 times spawn rates. After defeating Poltergeist, I'm now ready for the final four, and Old Duke. These final four bosses will be a true test of my skills and determine whether I have what it takes to win. The first of these four is the Devourer of Gods. I can't just hop straight into the fight though, there are some preparations to be made. One preparation I must make is Blood Flare Armor. This armor increases my max life by 40, gives increased life regen, ranged weapons will now fire blood explosion orbs every 2.5 seconds, and I can unleash lost souls of the Poltergeist. Yeah, needless to say, it's a little overpowered. Most of the weapon upgrades I have to make need a Reaper Tooth, which come from the Abyss. But going down there with 300 times spawns is a death wish, and I won't be getting any Reaper Teeth anytime soon. Even though I know this, I still make Abyssal Diving Gear and try to get them. Even with my best efforts, however, this never happened. The one good thing to come from this trip is that I find the Shimmer while trying to make the Abyssal Diving Gear. Knowing I won't get the Reaper Teeth, I find the next best option, and it's the Halley's Inferno. This weapon is pretty good as it'll pierce through the Devourer of Gods and do pretty good damage. With my new armor and weapon, now I just need a new accessory. What I need is the Elysian Aegis, dropped by Providence. It's basically just an upgraded Asgard's Valor, just with added defense and a longer dash. Once I make this, I'm now ready, and I start the fight. This boss will start out simple enough. He will chase you down and summon lasers all around you. You can hit his body, but it has a shield, so you really only want to hit the head and tail. This is all he does until 80% health. At this point in the fight, he can turn into a phantom. While he is a phantom, he will fire 2 massive barrages of bullets that force you to fly upwards, and he cannot do contact damage. I really don't know how to describe this attack, I mean, just look at it. Eventually, he taunts me in the chat and summons his brothers to the fight. They just kind of follow him around and are easy to kill because of my Pierce, so they go down extremely fast. After chasing me and summoning an ungodly amount of lasers, he enters the second phase. In phase 2, he becomes much more aggressive and will hunt you down with lightning fast speeds. He will also shoot fireballs at you, which will deal massive damage. He keeps the same lasers from phase 1, but adds more attacks. He can now summon enough lasers to fill the entire screen. I have a split second to react and find a safe spot, however, so I survive this attack with ease most of the time. When he does these laser attacks, he turns invisible again and will reappear out of a portal when finished with the attack. After using these attacks over and over, he resummons the Cosmic Guardians, but the fight is already over. After winning this fight, many new opportunities arise. I can now get Cosmolite bars, which allow me to make many upgrades to armor, weapons, and accessories. Along with this, the Pumpkin Moon, Frost Moon, and Solar Eclipse will become more difficult. And now enemies from these events will drop Nightmare Fuel, Endothermic Energy, and Dark Sun Fragments. These will help me craft Ascendant Spirit Essence, along with various other weapons and items. I farm the events for these items, and after a long while of grinding, I get enough of them. The first thing I want to use these items for is Godslayer's armor. This armor set will give me plus 60 max HP and give me a massive dash that deals huge damage to enemies I dash through. It also puts me at a whopping 178 defense. Now I already need a new weapon for Yharon, and to make this weapon, I first have to fight the old Duke. After a couple of attempts, I finally won this stupid fight. This fight isn't even hard, it just sucks. When you summon him, he will dash at you and fire a burst of sharks at you. He will also make poison gas clouds in the arena that you have to dodge at all times. Later in the fight, he will make these Rick and Morty portals around the arena that try to suck you in. These are very annoying because they take up a lot of room and stay in the arena for a long time. At around 50%, he will become very angry and gain a lot of speed. He will now summon 3 times more sharks, and they also home in on you. Along with this, he will still continue to make portals and poison gas. His portals actually get bigger, but despite these setbacks, I take down the old Duke. Once I win this fight, I get the ranger weapon first try. This isn't the weapon I want though. I want the SDFMG, which, you guessed it, is an upgrade to the SDMG. It has insanely fast speed, and will sometimes shoot a homing water rocket instead of a bullet. Along with a new gun, I make new bullets. These bullets are called the Godslayer Slugs, and they are amazing. These bullets are very similar to Luminite bullets, as they will pierce through enemies, but the difference is they teleport back behind you and get to be shot again. These will be the best bullets I can get my hands on for the rest of the game, so you know they're good. Yet again, I make more accessories. What I make is called the Elemental Quiver, which is an upgraded version of the Magic Quiver and Deadshot Brooch. Another upgrade I make is the Quiver of Nility. This quiver will summon 4 spears that orbit me and give arrows a 75% damage boost. This would be a very good accessory if, I used a bow. I don't know why I made this, as I haven't used a bow in such a long time, and I still don't have one. Along with this useless accessory, I make the Asgardian Aegis, which is every single shield combined into one. I then reforge all of these new accessories, and I'm now ready for the Dragon of Rebirth himself. This fight is pretty tough. He'll dash at you and fire fireballs at you. He will also make a massive ring of fireballs that enclose the entire arena. He will also dash at you while the fires are coming out, so you have to be very careful during this attack. There are also fire tornadoes that will chase you down until you touch them. When you do, they will make a giant fire tornado rise, and it'll serve as a roadblock in the arena. There is also a giant wall that makes sure you can't leave the arena. If you try to leave the perimeters, Yharon will one-tap you. The best strategy I found for this fight was to dash through him and try your best to learn the patterns of the fireballs. In a sub-phase, he will now spin around and summon some homing fireballs, but they are slow for now. He does this for a while, until he is reborn. In Phase 2, Yharon will summon a massive wall of homing fires that are insanely quick, so I have to stay far, far away from them. He will also dash way faster, and he'll now dash like 3 times in a row. He will still do the bullet hell segment, but it's made a lot harder. Another new ability he gains is leaving a trail of fireballs that stay in place for a long time, and he can teleport right above you, so you can't ever really escape him. These attack patterns are almost impossible to dodge, but I took him down regardless. Winning this fight gives me access to Auric Ore. and 5,000 chicken nuggets. This ore will help me make the final armor set, Auric Tesla Armor. Along with this final ore, I get the best wings that I will use to make a new accessory in a second. But first, I have to actually go mining for this new ore. Once I mine plenty of ore, I head back home and make the Auric Tesla Armor. This armor is actually insane. Its set bonus is Tarragon, Blood Flare, and Godslayer, all in one armor set. Along with these insane buffs, I get a total of 210 defense. I can now also make one of my final weapons, the King's Bane. This weapon is just a straight up minigun. It shoots insanely fast, and when I stop shooting, it lets out an incredibly large and fast barrage of auric bullets. These special bullets home in on enemies and ignore 50 defense. Now it's time for even more accessories. First up is the Dawnlight Spirit Origin. This item's description is a whole paragraph long, but to sum it up, it marks enemies with a bullseye that if hit, can deal up to 3.5 times the amount of damage. It also summons this woman for some reason, I don't really know the reference. Next up is the Seraph Tracers, which is the final pair of boots and wings I'll make. Now that I've made the accessories, I now need to make the summon for the Supreme Witch Calamitous, which is called the Altar of the Accursed. I gather the materials to make it, and I attempt the fight. Again, and again. Yeah, this fight took a lot of attempts. I made the sponge accessory to make the fight a little easier, as it gives me 180 more health. I eventually learned the fight down to a T and get this attempt. The fight starts out with a bullet hell segment that isn't easy to dodge, that's all I'll say. After I survive this, she summons a giant worm. I actually can't kill the worm, however. I need to break 8 hearts that are in the top corners of the tiny box of an arena she put me in. While I'm breaking the hearts, the worm will chase me and shoot bullets at me. The Supreme Witch Calamitous will shoot bullets at me and dash at me. Once I break the hearts, I now have to hit Calamitous. She will shoot fast bullets that are always locked in on me, small bullets that break into a barrage of bullets, and a shotgun of bullets. After she does this for a little while, she will start the second bullet hell segment. It's the same as the first, but now the bullets that split into very many projectiles come right to me and blow up in my face. After I survive this, she will speed up and dash at me now. She will continue to do the same attacks, but much faster. At half health, she will do the third bullet hell segment. In this one, there are just a lot more bullets that explode on me, but now they explode into even more bullets. After somehow dodging this phase, she summons Catastrophe and Cataclysm. These are 2 warriors that are very strong and have insanely hard to dodge attacks. I start by attacking the blue one first, and his attacks are a little easier to dodge. They will start to throw some slices and punches at me, until they stand still and do an all-out attack. They do this a couple of times until I take down the blue one, and now it's just me and red. When it's just him, he will have punches that split into 2, and his barrage is a lot harder to dodge. After his barrage, he spawns a portal. This portal will spawn a whole lane of punches that block off a large section of the arena. After he repeats these attacks for a while, I take him down. Once this happens, it's right back to the bullet hell, but this one is very tough. She spawns a literal black hole that takes up most of the arena, and it will chase you down for the rest of the fight. After the bullet hell, it's just a very sped up Calamitous segment, but with a black hole chasing you. This is until she spawns a ring of soul seekers that surround her. They will protect her, and I must defeat them in order to continue the fight. This is where the fight gets very chaotic. I have a Black Hole, Calamitous, and 10 Soul Seekers attacking me right now, but I take them down and go into the final bullet hell segment. During this segment, there's now projectiles that move around almost like they're flapping their wings. After I survive this, she resummons the worm. This part is the exact same as the start of the fight, except with a black hole chasing you. I take him down, and just like that, the fight is over. After I win this fight, there isn't a whole lot I can do to prepare for the Exo Mechs. Some things I do though, is make the Shattered community. There's no real reason, I just think it's cooler. After doing this, I now have to locate a factory in almost every biome. This part is boring, as it's just me searching the undergrounds for a whole hour, so I'll just skip to after I find all the factories. Now that I found all the schematics, I now have to wait an hour for the powered cells to generate. I pass the time by building a trophy hole, and I take down all the bosses I didn't take down previously for their relics. This takes a while, but I'm pretty happy with the result. But there is still one relic missing, the Exo Mechs. I attempted the fight on one long platform, but this plan honestly just sucked. So I got to work on a massive arena. After making the arena, I can now get some serious attempts in. This boss still took by far the most attempts, but I finally got a good one. And this was the result. Before the fight starts, I get to pick between 3 different bosses. I pick Ares, and he has 4 robotic arms. One makes a bomb, one shoots an electric wall, one just shoots a normal projectile, and the last one makes a giant laser beam. He will shoot out of his arms at random, and this part of the fight is pretty simple. I just gotta move up and down to avoid the shots. This goes on until about 70% health. When this happens, Thanatos, Artemis, and Apollo all spawn at once. Thanatos is a giant worm that will chase after you and spawn lasers at you, while Artemis and Apollo act like the twins. Apollo is the green one, and he will shoot missiles and single-shot bullets at you, while Artemis will shoot a shotgun of bullets along with dashing at you. This goes on until I get the eyes down to 70% health. Then, all 3 of them are attacking me at once. This is by far the most chaotic part of the fight, as I have to dodge 3 bosses at once. My best bet is just to run left to right and up to down, and hope for the best. This goes on until I get Ares down to 40% health. He is now almost dead and very angry. He now becomes faster with movement and attack speed. He also makes a giant death laser that speeds up over time. To dodge it, you must spin in a circle and watch out for his arms while they fire bullets at you. This goes on until I take him down. Now that Ares is down, Thanatos spawns back in. This part is fairly simple. You just gotta run away from the worm and all of his lasers. This goes on until I get him down to 70%, which is when the eyes reappear. Now, everyone speeds up and the eyes lose their eyes. The orange one will now fire a lot more shotgun shots, and the green one will shoot shots that break into 4. They both also gain a super attack. The orange one will shoot a giant spinning death laser, while the green one will dash around and make many projectiles that break into 4. They do this until I defeat them, leaving just Thanatos left. He is now enraged as he is the last Exo Mech standing. He will shoot like 10 times more lasers and move so much faster. Also, mid-fight, a blood moon starts, which was just amazing. Along with the lasers, he will charge up a super beam and circle you to try to trap you. My best bet to survive this attack was just to stand still. Other than this, I just run away and I eventually take down my final foe ever. This was it. The game is finally over, and I had successfully won. I place my relic in the display, and I say my goodbyes to the world. I can't say I'll miss the challenge, but this was a great first playthrough for YouTube. Thank you to everyone who commented or even just watched. That's all. Thanks for watching. But hey, I can't just let it end like that. I've got to give credit where credit is due.